Ignition sequence start. Roger.
Hello, I'm Manus MacLean, and this is Brain Drain Newsroom. It's Tuesday, September 2nd, 2025. Today, we examine 3 developments shaping the future of U.S. immigration. First, the Trump administration's push to recruit 10,000 new ICE officers, raising questions about training, accountability, and morale. 2, how Trump voters themselves are divided, supporting strong enforcement but questioning extreme tactics. And finally, the DHS moves to end duration of status for international students, scholars, and journalists, changing how long they can stay in America. Let's start with the unprecedented hiring surge. Our first story comes from The Guardian. The administration has announced plans to hire 10,000 new ICE officers and 3,000 more Customs and Border Protection agents, backed by $170 billion in funding. New hires are being offered signing bonuses of up to $50,000. Training, which once took 13 weeks, has been cut down to just 8. Critics argue this risks sending underprepared agents into high-stake enforcement situations. Footage shows ICE teams wearing black masks during home raids. Officials say the masks protect agents' identities, but I'll share a personal observation. The masks may also conceal something deeper, a sense of unease, even shame, in carrying out missions that tear families apart. This push for numbers over quality could shape ICE into what critics call a private army, a force powerful but fragile. Our second story concerns how voters feel. Our second story, reported by Reuters, digs into how Trump voters feel about these crackdowns. A panel of 20 voters overwhelmingly supported tougher enforcement, saying it makes their communities feel safer. But here's the twist. 14 of those 20 also supported creating a clearer path to legal status for undocumented immigrants already here. Some admitted they worry about methods that feel authoritarian, even un-American. This reveals a nuance often missing from the national debate. Enforcement and compassion are not mutually exclusive, even among the president's base. Many Americans want order at the border, but they also want fairness and humanity inside their neighborhoods. And our last segment concerns a visa rule change. Our third story comes from the Times of India. The Department of Homeland Security is ending the long-standing policy of admitting F1 students, J1 exchange visitors, and I-visa holders, like journalists, under the flexible category known as duration of status. I'll explain that further later. Instead, they'll be admitted for a fixed period, fixed term, with strict expiration dates. That means filing for extensions in advance or risking unlawful presence. Excuse me. Supporters argue this increases accountability and prevents overstays, but critics warn it adds red tape for students and researchers and media professionals who bring talent and ideas to the U.S. Universities are especially concerned that this could discourage top global scholars from choosing America as their destination. I'll give you a personal story, or at least what I've seen. I've seen students who normally go home to visit their families over the summer break, foreign students, unable to do so because basically the State Department closed their embassies. They were unable to get their visas renewed in order to come back for the fall term. It was caused delays, and many of them simply stayed here. The current system allows them to stay here, but once you leave, you have to get another visa to come back. What this means. These three developments show the multiple fronts of immigration policy in 2025. ICE expansion underscores a reliance on enforcement over reform with rapid hiring that risks lowering standards. Public opinion is nuanced, even with Trump voters expressing unease at heavy-handed tactics and voicing support for legal pathways. Visa reforms may deter international students and journalists, undermining U.S. competitiveness and global openness. Together, they highlight the tension between control, compassion, and the country's identity as a magnet for talent. I can tell you that the effects have been profound. We don't necessarily understand how visas work in the United States. In fact, in 2006, only 20% of the American population actually had a passport. Currently, in 2025, that number has risen to about 48% of the population. As for visas, we don't necessarily need to get visas. We can go and travel to 190 countries without a visa, and we can stay there for 90 to 180 days. The only time we need a visa is if we need to work there and earn money, or if we plan to stay longer than 6 months. As August turns to September, immigration remains at the center of America's debate, not only about borders, but about values. If you appreciate clear, fact-based coverage with room for personal honesty, please subscribe and share, and support this work. Visit braindrain.org/donate. I'm Manus. Thank you for watching, and stay informed.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this and maybe even learned something new. If you did, don't just vanish into the algorithm. Hit like, subscribe, and follow us on social. It's the easiest way to support our work and make sure you never miss what's next. Want to stay in the loop without relying on big tech's mood swings? Sign up for our monthly newsletter. And if you've got the means, donations of any size keep our programs running strong. As a 501c3, your gift is tax deductible where the law allows. Together, we can turn Brain Drain into America's next big breakthrough.